Hey everybody, welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that you can pre-order by this weekend. So head on over to infinityflux.net right now where you can start placing your pre-orders for these. Your pre-orders are due Sunday by 6 o'clock. That way you don't miss out on any of these books. Like we say every time, stuff sells out.
Yeah.
I mean, this week with all the Absolute books, all the DCKO, I forgot what the big Marvel one that sold out was, but there was like a Marvel one that sold out day one. This is super important that you get your pre-orders in so you don't miss out on any of these books.
Yeah, so this is attempt number 2.
Yeah.
Apparently, the video we recorded yesterday on Friday had no sound. Actually, that was our version of, Mystery Science Theater 3000. We wanted you guys to add your own commentary to it, but we figured we'd come and do another one with our own commentary just in case you guys, wanted to hear from us. And if this one doesn't have any sound, you're just going to have to try to infer what we're saying because we're not doing this a third time.
Well, with all of that, let's get into this week's worth of books, starting off with our Prime Comic pre-orders.
Starting with Wonder Man #1. This is a new, I believe it's a 5-issue miniseries written by Jerry Duggan. The art is by Mark Buckingham. And in this one, somebody from Simon's past comes back to cause trouble for him, I guess. It's somebody named Randolph Chancellor. It's Simon's former cellmate. And it just says what happens when his past finally catches up to him. So we don't really know what that means. It says that this is a true love letter to LA as well as the history of Wonder Man. And of course, this is a great time for it to come out with, the Wonder Man TV show that just came out a few days ago, which was really good. So yeah, if you're a fan of that, or if you want to read some new Wonder Man stuff, then this would be the series.
It's been a while since Wonder Man really has appeared in anything.
He pops up in like guest roles here and there for just a few pages or whatever.
He was in with that book with Beast, like very briefly.
He was in that Avengers, the one where they had the emergency response team.
Yeah.
So this is dedicated to him. This is our A cover. There's a Netho Diaz foil variant, a Phil Noto headshot variant, and a Rose Besh variant.
Very fun.
Yeah.
Now, moving on, we've got Jessica Jones Alias. This is the, they're calling it Alias Red Band. And this is one of your next Red Band books focusing on Jessica Jones. And this is really exciting because the original, Alias series from years ago by Brian Michael Bendis was a Marvel Max title. And so it's very fitting that now Jessica Jones is getting a Red Band book. It fits very much in the tone of the original one. So I'm very excited about this. A series of grisly murders in Hell's Kitchen pulls Jessica Jones into a mystery more sinister than she could ever imagine as the wife of Mayor Luke Cage. So it sounds like this is, set in present day. Mm-hmm. She'll have to tread carefully as she forms a dangerous alliance with Typhoid Mary to track down the killer. But as she delves deeper into Hell's Kitchen's dark underbelly, the evidence she finds presents more questions than answers. Follow the mystery into the all-new Red Band miniseries, written by Sam Humphries and drawn by Geraldo Borges. And it's celebrating the 25th anniversary of Alias, which seems crazy. It makes me feel old.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is super cool. So I'm very excited about this. I've already pre-ordered my copy of it. Great to have a Jessica Jones focused book back. She's appeared here and there kind of in background roles and all that, but now she is getting this spotlight once again. Now it put them in a weird order. This is actually a variant. This is the Elena Casgrande variant. We also have a Ji Young Lee variant. We have a Luciano Vecchio Marvel Monster variant, which we're not quite sure why they're doing Marvel Monsters.
And that's the only one like this on this show, too. So I'm not sure if
I think there's the one more with Magic where she's like part tree
person. Okay.
So it's not like, this got delayed since October. It's just like, I guess middle of the year is a good time for monsters.
Why not?
And this is your A cover by David Mack, who did all of the original Alias cover. So I think it's awesome. Right back into the feel of the classic series.
Next, we have Batman #7, and this one's really cool. So Andy and I got to read this one yesterday, and it's a very interesting issue. There's no action in it at all, but what it is, most of the issue is Batman having a conversation with the Joker, who looks like how you see him on the cover there. Now, this comes out the same day as DCKO #5, which is the last issue of that. You're going to want to read this one second. You're going to want to read this after that, because I think that whatever state the Joker is in here, I think it's because of what happens to him at the end of DCKO. I don't know for sure.
Yeah, we don't. It doesn't say that in the book,
Yeah.
but it's implied that something drastic has happened.
Yeah, it doesn't say that in the book, and we haven't read DCKO number 5, so we're assuming at this point. But basically, Joker is he's being held in this tank. You can see, like, basically he's being kept alive, and he finds a way to request an audience with Batman, who has to go to. He's being held in Arkham Tower, so Batman goes to Arkham Tower to see what he wants, and it's kind of sort of a little cat and mouse game with, Joker kind of dropping some teases and Batman, trying to figure out what his game is, what he's trying to get at, and that kind of thing. So
you mentioned before, it's kind of Silence of the Lambs, like, that a very tense conversation between the two, with just kind of a sheet of glass in between.
Right, yeah. So, and it says at the top, Blood and Money starts here. I think that's the name of this new story arc, featuring a Joker as you've never seen him before. Like I said, he's being held in Arkham Tower, but he's also not. I don't want to say too much, but he also, personality-wise, he seems a little bit different. He seems a little bit more sane, I guess.
Yeah.
But we don't know why he got that way, and we don't know if it's an act or not, right? So there's still a lot to learn in this story arc to come, but a very cool issue. Like I said, there's no action at all, but their conversation, their back and forth is still so captivating that it's very, like, it sucks you right in, and you're like, oh, what are they, what's he up to, or is he up to anything? There's a last page that's very shocking that really makes you want the next issue right away. So a very, very good issue of Batman, as all the rest of them in this run have been.
And issue number 6 comes out next week, and we'll be talking about it on Monday.
Did you read that last night?
I have not read it
No,
yet.
I haven't read it yet either, but I flipped through it and it looks cool. So yeah, very good issue of Batman. Don't miss it. So this is our A cover. There is a Dustin Nguyen variant. There is a Jorge Molina variant, and that's very representative of what a lot of this issue was like, is that image right there. Not the artwork, but the image. Ryan Sook has a variant. There is a Jorge Jimenez foil variant. There's a Leslie Lee Women's History Month variant. Batgirl is not in this. There's a Bat Symbol variant and a Jorge Jimenez corner box spot foil variant, which I love spot foil, so this should look great.
This is one that I am guessing is going to sell out once, anytime Joker and Batman appear in the same book, it's big, but this one has that extra twist of this is kind of Joker as you've never seen him before.
Right.
So I think this is going to sell out, so make sure you pre-order this one.
Yeah, even though it's just them talking, man, it's still, like, really intense.
It's really riveting.
And it keeps you guessing.
Well, next up, we have our next DC Vertigo original title. This is The Peril of the Brutal Dark, an Ezra Cain mystery. This is going to be a 6-issue miniseries written by Chris Condon and the artist by Jacob Phillips. That is your creators of That Texas Blood and the Enfield Gang Massacre. So this already definitely has those really deep noir roots, but there is a really cool twist in this. So New York City, 1941, Ezra Cain is a private investigator with a reputation for taking it on the chin if it means solving a case. But it's his former life as an archaeology student that makes him the only man to track down an artifact that's gone missing from the Museum of Natural History. So already right there, you get a little bit of Indiana Jones vibes. An ancient anvil said to hold the power of the Greek god Hephaestus. So now you're talking about, like, super powered relics. If someone could harness that power, they could bend nations to their will. Science fiction quickly becomes Cain's reality when a shadowy sect calling themselves the Brutal Dark appears in the city wielding resources that defy human logic. Now Ezra is the only thing that stands between them and their plot to overthrow America. And I got to preview some of this issue. It looks awesome. It is I like the setting, the 1940s setting, the crime noir, the kind of the grisly city, but you do get some cool, like, museum scenes and all of that. So I think this sounds really exciting and sounds like a great new addition to the Vertigo line. So we've got a couple of covers for this one. This is your A cover. This is by Jacob Phillips. That's your interior artist. We have a Tula Lotay cover, a Hayden Sherman cover, which people will be familiar with Hayden Sherman right now. We have a Sean Phillips. So I think it's I'm not sure if this is a connecting cover or but this one is really cool. I'm not sure what the last letters are on there. Then we also have a Alvaro Martinez connecting variant. This is the connecting variant with all the other Vertigo titles. And we have a Jacob Phillips foil variant as well.
And next we have the new history of the DC Universe, the Dakota Incident. This is a one-shot. This is written by Joseph P. Illich, Stephanie Williams, Morgan Hampton, and Nicholas Draper-Ivy. And we have art by Carlo Pagulayan, Valentin Delandro, and Edwin Galman. And this is spinning out of the pages of the new history of the DC Universe, the 4-issue miniseries that came out last year. And it uncovers an untold moment in DC history where a murder leads to an all-out war between the heroes of Dakota City and the U.S. government. As their home becomes a battlefield, what must Static, Rocket, and the others sacrifice to keep their loved ones safe? And as the heroes fall in the past, the stage is set for their return in the present. And if you read the DCKO The Kids Are All Fight one shot that came out this week, you saw one of them return. So we have a preview copy of this. We haven't read it yet, but we did flip through it. And this, I believe this takes place around the time that Lex Luthor was president. So I'm not really sure what the story is. And it does. That's the thing too, is whereas the other new history of the DC Universe books seemed more almost like a textbook.
Yeah.
This seems more like an actual story, but I might be wrong. Maybe, like I said, we haven't actually read it yet, but that's the feeling I got after looking through it.
Yeah, it did look like it had more like individual character dialogue rather than like a picture and then text that describes that era.
But and you can see on the cover too, it looks like this is a President Luthor era story. But I'm looking forward to reading this. We were talking about it in the first version of the show where we said, go ahead, like bring in the milestone characters into the broader DC universe, like make them more of an active part in that because they're great characters. And I'd love to see them, just have more appearances.
Yeah.
So this is our A cover. There's a Dennis Cowan variant. There's a Yasmin Putri variant. This is a nice homage to 52, which looks great. There's a Carlo Pagulayan variant. So that's some of your interior art looks like that. And there's a Joshua Swaby variant.
Well, moving on, we have a new Star Wars series. We don't have too many of those going on right now, but we have a brand new one starting. This is Star Wars Shadow of Maul #1. This is a prequel to the upcoming Disney Plus show that is kind of a somewhat sequel to like Bad Batch and all of that. And this more explores Darth Maul's time as a crime lord that we saw at the end of Solo. So this is by Benjamin Percy and Madibek Musabekov. And it says, welcome to Janix, a neon-lit, shadow-soaked maze of a planet that lies beyond the reach of the Empire. Captain Brander Lawson is doing his best to navigate the law in a lawless territory. He's joined by his partner, a droid named Two Boots, as they face off against scheming crime bosses, and as the looming threat of the Shadow Lord Maul nears. So, yeah, Darth Maul now is the Shadow Lord, the big crime boss. So this is going to be really cool. We're going to get introduced to these characters we're going to see in the show, a little bit early and kind of get a good idea of how they're going to interact. I think we are going to, even though it sounds like Maul's in the background this series, I do think we're going to get quite a bit of him in this. So I'm very excited about this. If you are looking forward to the show, definitely pre-order. It looks really fun. So we've got our A cover here. We've got a Aka headshot variant. It's not a virgin variant, but we've got a Dan Panosian variant, which this is the one I have already pre-ordered. I think there may be a foil version of this. I'm not sure.
That would look nice.
I thought there was. And then there's an Elena Casagrande Women's History Month variant, and I've pre-ordered this one as well.
Next, we have a new book from Mad Cave. It's called "Is Ted Okay?" If you have a coworker named Ted, is he okay?
Just check on him.
Yeah. So this is written and drawn by Dave Chisholm, and it's about a guy named Ted. He's isolated. He's paranoid. He works for this mega corporation that is owned by the world's only trillionaire, and he suffers from night terrors. He obsessively draws the same figure over and over, all while listening to the same song over and over. And he's the only person he ever talks to. Is a stray cat. So he seems like he's very introverted. It says that his humanity is hanging on by a thread. And then there's another character in this. Her name is Sarah. She is a new arrival to the city, and she has her own problems that she's dealing with. But her job is to remotely spy on Ted to ensure that he doesn't hurt anyone or himself. But when Ted's mental state begins to crack, Sarah compassionately intervenes to help, and things go catastrophically wrong. It says that this matches up the paranoid existentialism of Severance with the cosmic sci-fi of Akira, while exploring what happens when the act of help goes horribly wrong. So, yes, this sounds like I don't know if this really sounds like a horror book, more maybe like a psychological thriller.
Yeah.
But there's definitely some weirdness going on here.
Especially
And
throwing Akira in there is like,
yeah.
what bits of that are we going to see here?
Yeah, and it doesn't look like Ted's okay because he's on fire. So, yeah, maybe just like throw a towel over him or something and he'll be fine. So a cool new book from Mad Cave. So this is our A cover by Dave Chisholm, and there is a Christian Ward variant with the back of his head exploding.
That's all that cool music he's listening
That's right.
to, blowing his mind. Okay, next up we have Murder Drones #1. This is gonna be a 6-issue miniseries by Wyatt Kennedy and Joe Ming Jiang. And this was originally a Kickstarter for the graphic novel that collected these 6 issues. It was a huge Kickstarter that raised like over $1 million, like a 1.5 or 1.7, something like that. And I'm very close to this because I did 2 of the covers for that Kickstarter. They're not in these individual issues, but I did it for the really high tiers of the Kickstarter. And so I know a little bit of inside stuff about this, and this is going to be really cool. So if you're not familiar with Murder Drones, it is a huge phenomenon. It has been streamed more than, what is it, like 330 million times on YouTube. So it's like an animated series that I believe began on YouTube. It's now also on like Amazon Prime. And it's really fun. It's very dark, but it's kind of geared towards that like 14 and up age range. And yeah, if you haven't heard about it, just ask someone in that age range, and I'm sure they have heard about it. So if you're not familiar with the story of it, in the far future, on a desolate exoplanet designated Copper 9, the humans are long gone, but the robotic worker drones they created to mine the planet's resources are still hard at work. Together, they have managed to forge their own makeshift society, or so they thought, until a previously unknown kind of robot, the dreaded murder drones, are activated by a long-forgotten human-scripted protocol to disassemble any worker that deviates from its original programming. But when a rebellious young worker drone named Uzi, who you see there with the purple hair, forms an unlikely alliance with 2 disassembly drones, serial designations N and V, and that's N on the cover there. They together uncover the secrets of their origins and stop the spread of the unsettling mechanical virus known as the Absolute Solver. So this, I believe, is each issue is an adaptation of an episode of the show, covering the first 6 episodes. There's only maybe 1 or 2 more of those currently out. You only get an episode every, 6 months or something like that.
Wow,
So it's a
okay.
big deal when one of these launches. But yeah, now there's Murder Drone stuff in like Hot Topic and a bunch of stores. So it's getting bigger and bigger. This is going to be a huge hit. The Kickstarter was already a huge hit, so don't miss out on this one. We've got our A cover here. This one is by Alessio Zano. We have a B cover by Joe Ming Jiang. This is your interior artist. We've got a Crooked Glasses variant. And we have a blank sketch variant, which I got a few of those, and I'm going to do some sketches on them.
Are you going to draw murder drones?
Oh, that's a good idea.
That's a good idea,
I
right?
didn't
You
think
should,
about
you should
that.
try that, yeah.
I was thinking Garfield.
All right, so next up is a book called Nectar. This is the first issue. This is from Vault. This is written by Jeremy Robinson, and the art is by Anapola Martello and Francesco Francini. And it's about this island village off of Salem, Massachusetts, that is inundated by a strange species of butterflies that spread the dancing plague and have a very particular taste in nectar, which is human blood. It says that this will horrify readers with a quaint village's descent into madness. So it sounds like a cool, maybe like kind of supernatural horror book involving cute butterflies who drink human blood. So that you can't get any better than that.
And sitting on somebody's tongue, which is very disturbing.
That's gross. So that's our A. Nope. This is our A cover by Christian. There's a not safe for work black bag superior variant, because it depicts nudity. So it tells you right there on the bag. It's like a naked butterfly. And there's a Jeremy Robinson foil variant.
It's a butterfly coming out of the cocoon.
Oh, right,
like,
yeah. That's
private.
profane, yeah.
Well, next up, we have, of course, Absolute Wonder Woman issue number 17. And this is going to be a really exciting issue. We were on a retailer call with DC going over a bunch of the new stuff coming out. And they specifically talked about this issue of Wonder Woman because in the pages of Absolute Batman, we've seen Batman get his butt handed to him. We've seen him beaten down, have to, get up from being bruised and bloody to fight back.
But also handing out a lot of beatdowns as well.
And that is what this issue of Absolute Wonder Woman's going to be. They said it's Wonder Woman's time to really have to pick herself back up and get into the fight. And so that's going to be really exciting with this one because it sounds like it's going to be a very action-packed issue. Wonder Woman betrayed. Diana faces off against a team assembled with only one mission in mind: take down Wonder Woman at any cost. And we saw that team at the end of issue 16, and I'm very excited to see more of them because of the name they're using and the members of them. We've got a lot of questions. But after a strangely intimate betrayal, Diana finds herself outplayed, boxed in, and running out of options. So, who does she get betrayed by? I have a theory, but we don't quite know yet. But you can see her facing off against Giganta here. This is going to be a great issue. So, we've got our A cover here. We have a Derek Chu cover, a Riley Rossimo cover, and a Mattia De Luis variant, which was your interior artist on the kind of interval issues of Absolute Wonder Woman.
And the annual, too.
And the annual, yeah, fantastic.
Next, we have Moonstar #1. I believe this is a 5-issue miniseries that's in the Shadows of Tomorrow era. This is written by Ashley Allen. The art is by Eduardo Audino. And it's about an ancient soul-sucking weapon that is set loose, and Danny has to track it down. But the weapon's deadly wielder won't make it easy for her. After recent tragedies, can Danny trust herself to save those closest to her, or will her self-doubts lead to even more bloodshed? So another new #1 in the Shadows of Tomorrow era of the X-Men books. So this is our A cover. There's a Benjamin Sue Marvel Comics Presents variant. She got an advanced copy of Daredevil, it looks like. There's a Joshua Swaby variant, and there is a Marcos Martin variant.
Did they say this is like 5 issues?
I believe it's 5 issues, yeah. And then to go along with that, we have the X-Men Annual for this year, and this is written by Ryan Stegman, and it has art by Ryan Stegman, Steve Scrose, and Sanford Green. And it says that an all-new mutant menace known as the Creationist forces 4 artists to visualize monsters that tear through reality, and the X-Men have to survive an attack where imagination itself becomes the enemy. Now they have to stop the Creationist before his nightmare visions consume the world, in an epic issue featuring several superstar guest artists. So, like you said yesterday, this is sounds like it's very like artist focused. You know, the villain is an artist or the villain makes other artists create these monsters that the X-Men have to fight. I'm assuming that's one of the monsters and not the Creationist himself. But I love that lineup of characters. I hope that they're front and center in this.
I do like the idea, if that is the Creationist, he sits over an artist's shoulder and goes, add an extra horn over here.
Right, that's the wrong color. So this is the A cover, and there's a Sanford Green variant, also with those same 3 characters. So hopefully it centers around them, if not more.
Is that a new Wolverine costume with the stripes on the leg? Or
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, next up we have A Quiet Place Storm Warning #1. So this is set within the universe of A Quiet Place, the movie, the 3-issue movie, or the 3 movie series we've gotten so far. The world ended in a hush. The creatures came for the cities first, but in Peril, Iowa, a tiny island town on the Mississippi, the mayor and townsfolk believe that someone else's problem. Cut off from the chaos of the coast, they think they can ride out the storm, but Fire Chief Lonnie Fry knows better. The creatures that hunt by sound are coming west, and unless the people of Peril take drastic action, silence won't save them, it'll bury them. So this is by Phil Hester, and the art is by Ryan Kelly. So Phil Hester, usually the artist, is taking over writing on this, which I think is really cool. And I just like the idea of this town being like, we're good, we're floating out here, nothing can get to us, and then that's, I'm guessing, soon gonna change. But if you like A Quiet Place, the world that they've set up here, this is gonna be really cool to see kind of a different, a different area, new characters, all dealing with this. So we have our A cover here, and this is by your interior artist, Ryan Kelly. We also have a Phil Hester cover, and we have a Johnson foil cover, which that'll be really nice.
Next is the Exorcism at Buckingham Palace. So this kind of follows on the heels of the Exorcism at 1600 Penn, which was a comic. Didn't you say it was based on?
Yeah, it's a comic that was just picked up
Right.
like this week by I think Bloomhouse for a movie.
Yeah.
But I think this is in the like I don't remember which exorcism of thing this is set, but I believe it's in the kind of universe of another series of exorcism
Okay.
movies.
Okay. Well, this is written by Hannah Rose May. The art is by Kelsey Ramsey. And it says, first it was America, and now it's England. At 5 a.m. at 10 Downing Street, the Prime Minister gets a call that bolts him out of bed because the royal family has been lost at sea. Parliament and Buckingham Palace explode with action in the aftermath. Some people suspect that the prince and his wife, the princess, were attacked, but others think that their tragedy was the result of a long standing family curse. But either way, Playboy and recovering addict Theo Belmont is next in line to the throne. Can he step up to the role, or will he be consumed by his demons? So, yeah, just the next, I guess, chapter. If this is a larger story, this is the next chapter in that. So this is our A cover. There's a Damian Worm variant and a foil Vaughn cover.
And next up, we have our next installment in the Disney Villain series. This is Disney Villains Ursula, #1. This is by Sherry L. Smith and Gabrielle Bagnoli. Sounds really cool. So this is set years before The Little Mermaid, and Ursula presides over a vast underwater kingdom as one of the 7 sea witches. Which I don't know if we've ever heard that before, that like her origin story, that she was some kind of ruler in a vast underwater kingdom. But when one of the royal sisters is found broken and stripped of her powers, Ursula takes it as an attack upon their collective authority and sets out to punish the culprit. So kind of a revenge tale, like you mess with us, you mess with one of us, you mess with all of us type thing. But I know in this list it did list all of the other sisters' names, and they're all like I think one is like Chernobylis, the like the classic Greek like whirlpool with teeth.
Oh,
And
yeah.
so they're all kind of based also on mythological creatures, and I think this is going to be really cool. We've got this A cover here by Mirka and Dolfo. We have a Jay Lee variant. We have a Robert Quinn variant. We have a Shitoki Shiki variant. A Francesco Carita variant, kind of your classic headshot variant, and a blank sketch cover as well. You can also draw Garfield on that one.
That's right.
Isn't that all people just draw? Is just Garfield?
Garfield? I think so.
And Alf.
Yeah.
Alf is a big thing we draw around here.
Next up is The Other Half #1. This is a new book from Ignition Press, and you guys know how much we love Ignition Press. This is written by Jim McCann. The art is by Joe Eisma. It's about formerly a high society darling. Ethan thinks the worst thing he'll have to contend with over the holidays is the disapproval of his upper crust parents. But when things go awry on his job protecting the priceless nobility diamond, more than just his feelings are put into jeopardy, and it's going to be up to his husband Henry to put his PI skills to good use and clear Ethan's name. And both men will have to step out of their comfort zones and into their husband's shoes to solve the case, I guess, of this missing diamond. So this sounds a little bit more like a caper, not necessarily crime noir, but like a fun caper. Yeah, right, something like that for sure. So yeah, this should be a lot of fun. This is our A cover by Joe Eisman, so that's your interior artist, and there is an Ego Rodriguez cover too.
Well, next up, we have Big Event Check-In, because there's a couple of big events going on right now. We're going to kick it off with Amazing Spider-Man issue #23. This is going to be part 2 of Death Spiral. So part 1 is in that one shot that's coming out. That's kind of the we call it the alpha issue of Death Spiral, and then it's going to alternate between Amazing Spider-Man and Venom and Carnage to tell this full story. And this is not like your big like event like a King in Black or something like this. This is very in the spider corner of the universe, so very easy to manage. So in this, Spidey and Venom team up against to stop the serial killer symbiote, but instead of Eddie Brock, Peter uncovers another bombshell beneath Venom's mask, Mary Jane, and that's just the first shocking revelation of this issue. Peter and MJ will have to patch things up if they want a fighting chance to stop new hyper lethal villain Torment's killing spree. So, yeah, it sounds like this might be the issue where Peter finally finds out that Venom is Mary Jane. It says they have to patch things up. I don't know if they really left off on a bad foot.
I don't remember.
It's been a long time
It's been
since-
so long since they've even interacted with each other. I don't remember. The last interaction I remember was actually, it looked like it was Peter, but it was Ben.
Yeah.
But so I'm not sure. Maybe she tells him and then
He's like, oh no. And she's like, it's fine. Paul's gone. And
yeah.
like,
He's like, oh, that's
we're
better.
good.
Yeah.
So we have our A cover right here. We have a Mike McCone Doom homage variant. This is really fun. We have a Mark Bagley classified. It says classified Target variant. So I guess it has a Target store on it.
Right. That's the only
it's got
thing
the
it can
Target
be.
dog.
Right.
We have a Libra Mayho Amazing Visions variant, which this has to be a connecting.
Surely it is.
It feels like this is
Yeah.
going to maybe connect with like a Carnage on the other side or something.
Or maybe he just planned it out wrong and he just ran out of room. He's like, oh well, I can
so
only.
when you start writing something, you're like,
Yeah.
oh no, I didn't space it right. We also have this Ivan Talavera art variant. This is the Virgin version of that, but the regular one will say Amazing Spider-Man on it. But there is this one as a bigger incentive that's really, really nice. I've already pre-ordered this one. And a Ivan Coelho 9-part connecting variant. This is really cool too. So the first part had an Ivan Coelho cover with Spider-Man. Now we have this one. I'm really excited to see all of them. And so I'm sure it said it somewhere, but this is 9 parts. So Death Spiral is going to be a 9-part mini event.
Yeah. Next up is Flash number 30, and this is the last issue of Flash that ties into DCKO. The issue of Flash that comes after this is the start of a whole new arc, new creative team, new classic costume. But yeah, this is the end of Flash as it pertains to DCKO. And the speedster's race through time has led them to an encounter with a dark side from the past, and their escape leads them to a shocking reunion. So this has been a really cool tie-in. Probably the one that's the most far removed from the main happenings of DCKO, but still really, really cool. Although it does have some connective tissue with the Legion of Darkseid and things like that. So it's been a great tie-in, and this is the last part of it.
I want to see this older version of Darkseid. Like, is it the he's a little bit smaller. He's got the like bright blue, very simple costume. That could be really cool because we do kind of know where they're running to.
Right.
A very key moment in DC history. Yeah. So I'm really excited for this big kind of finale of the story.
So this is our A cover. There's a Ramon Perez cover and a Daniel Bayliss cover.
Well, next up we have our last part, connecting with the KO for Justice League Unlimited. This is issue number 16, and this one is funny because the solicitation said like, Mr. Terrific's Terrific 10 is really dwindling.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you read the last one, you know how much that's dwindled till almost nothing. But there has been a traitor in their midst, and we find out who that was in the previous issue. But now Mr. Terrific's going to have to go up against Neron himself, along with that traitor. I'm really interested to see how all that was orchestrated. This is going to be really interesting. So, yeah, this is the last part of the tie-in with DCKO for Justice League Unlimited, with part 5 of the Terrific 10. This is your A cover. We have a Bruno Redondo variant, a Kathy Kwan variant that's really nice. We have a really fun breakdancing Metamorpho cover by Dan Hip. We have a John Jiang cover. We have a Chrissy Zulo Valentine's Day variant. And we have a Turin Clark Black History Month variant with Vixen.
And then we have Superman number 35, and this is the last issue of Superman that ties into DCKO. All of these that we just talked about, all these tie-ins, they all come out on February 25th, and then the final issue of DCKO comes out the next week on March 4th.
That's really good planning.
Yeah, so it's all coming to an end. And in this one, Superman's time in the tournament has taken its toll. Darkseid's Legion plans to make a massive sacrifice for their lord, and the Time Trapper is too late to stop them. Only 3 unlikely heroes can show the corrupted Legion the light. And it says the end of this issue sets up the end of DCKO, but also a massive status quo change for Superman as well. And on the retailer call we were on with DC, they told us some things about Superman that sound very, very interesting. So I think this is going to be a great ending to this tie-in, a great ending to the event when that comes out the following week. So yeah, don't miss any of this stuff.
We know Superman's going to be missing after the
Right.
DCKO tie-in. We don't know why, but I wonder if we're going to learn a little bit of that here.
Maybe we might get a clue.
Yep.
So this is our A cover. There's a Gilliam March connecting variant, a Rod Rice variant, a David Parator variant, a Chris Stevens variant, and a Chrissy Zulo Valentine's Day variant with my favorite couple in comics.
It's my favorite couple in general.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Well, next up we have some of our more essential comics because there is still a lot. We've got Iceman Omega. Now, this wasn't in our like, you're like, oh, it's a new X-Men book.
Yeah.
This is a one-shot that actually collects the 4-part Marvel Infinity comic of Iceman. So this is going to be 56 pages, and it's written and drawn by Luciano Vecchio. And this sounds like it's more set during the Krakoan era because of some of the things they mentioned. So Bobby Drake is ready to reach his true Omega potential from coming out to terraforming the entire planet of Mars, which was all during the Krakoan era stuff. Bobby's had a big year, and it's only up from here. So yeah, this just a little adventure starring Bobby Drake as kind of your main protagonist. If you read it originally in the Infinity on the Marvel Infinite app, you know, you can get it in print here to add to your collection. But yeah, just a one shot, but it is 56 pages, so this is going to be a pretty hefty one. We've got our A cover here. We have a Lucas Wernick variant and a Luciano Vecchio variant, so that's what your writer and interior artist can do.
And next we have Avengers number 36. This is the final issue of this series. There's been 3 years of dark mysteries, epic quests, and cosmos-shattering battles that comes to an end in this giant-sized can't-miss finale. Everything Jed MacKay has built comes crashing down in this startling finale that will redefine the Avengers' future. So, you know we have the Armageddon event coming in the summer. I feel like we won't see any more Avengers books or know anything more about the Avengers until after that event is over, which probably won't be till close to the end of this year since it doesn't start till June.
Yep.
But yeah, so this is the end of this run, and then we'll have to see what comes next for the Avengers after that. So this is the A cover. There's a Corey Smith Doom homage variant. What's the next one? It just says, oh, that's the
interior artist.
Yeah, Karimi. He's the interior artist. It says TBD on here. I'm not sure why.
They still don't know who's going to do this.
Yeah, and there's also a TBD foreshadowing variant. So I'm not sure who the artist is on this one, but this is an interesting one because that's one of the origin boxes that we know we're getting a whole bunch of stories around, and it looks like Captain America is the last one standing, and maybe he's going to jump up with his shield. And is that Captain America, though? That's the question.
With it being blacked out, it does have me wondering.
Yeah.
Or is somebody else holding the shield?
Yeah, but it looks like they're going to try to like come down on it and smash it. So what does that tell us about the story? There's also this weird face, which kind of looks like the Watcher to me, but who knows? So, but this is a foreshadowing variant. So this is foreshadowing what sounds like the Reborn Ultimate Impact miniseries that they announced a couple days ago. So more to come on all this stuff. I'm not really sure what to make of it.
He started really early with his jump. He should have gotten way closer.
He should have been like, well, yeah, way down here.
He's not even going to get all the way to this Iron Man
right.
helmet.
And then there's a wraparound cover as
Russell Dodderman.
Yeah, but that doesn't seem like a wraparound. Usually they show us the whole thing.
Yeah, that's what's weird is these have not been wraparounds. These have just been like the regular covers, but they've been connecting.
Yeah.
But I don't.
Yeah, it says wraparound cover. The other one looked more like a wraparound cover than this one. But anyway, it doesn't matter. This is the Russell Dodderman variant. And yeah, there have been a couple other of these that do connect all together.
Well, next up, we've got X-Men issue number 26, and I'm very excited about this one. I'm still catching up. I've read most of the beginning of this X-Men run and then the latest issues, but I'm reading it all now, and I'm really enjoying it. I love the Age of Revelation books, so I'm very excited to continue that story here. So this starts off Danger Room Part 1, and got some theories about this one. So Cascading Crisis hits the X-Men at the worst possible time, splitting them up across the globe to deal with shocking and unexpected difficulties, from a ghost ship in international waters to maximum security prison in Europe to the bloodstained streets of Merle, Alaska. The X-Men face unseen foe unlike any other they've experienced before. But it does have me wondering, when this is called Danger Room, is that all real, or are they all trapped inside the Danger Room? We'll have to find out, but it sounds like it's going to be at least a two-part series telling this story. So we've got our A cover here. We have a Derek Chew Cyclops variant, which is
Yeah.
very cool.
Give me a story based around that image.
Yep. And then we have a Girahiru Marvel Monster variant, so that's your other Marvel Monster variant. And a Luciano Vecchio Juggernaut variant.
And next we have Absolute Flash number 12. There's not a lot of information about this one. It just says that Wally must face his demons in order to save Fort Fox. But when the dust settles, what is the future of the Flash? And this is kind of this is the end of the first year of Absolute Flash, and what will it go into after this?
Yeah, it feels like end of season 1.
Right, exactly. So this is our A cover. There's a Carlo Pagulayan variant, a Gillum March variant, and a Leslie Larix Lee cover.
And staying with that, we've got Absolute Martian Manhunter number 9. Number 8 came out this week. It was crazy, and we're seeing more of that here. What Martian secrets will the agency discover as they peel back layers of mystery and metaphor from the Martian? Meanwhile, John searches for his missing partner as his world continues to crumble around him. So we've seen that they're split up currently, and I think we're going to learn that they function much better together as a more symbiotic partnership than when they're broken apart. I think John Jones is going to learn that pretty fast. But we've got our A cover here. We have a Werther Dell'Edera variant. We have a Dan Hip variant. It's very cool. With his absolute Batman tie. Right. And we have a Mateus Bergara variant as well.
So this is cool. This is Comics the Magazine. This is not a comic book. This is a magazine, although you said it's comic book size, right?
I believe when I read about it, it's gonna fit in a comic bag and board if you want to do that.
So this is the first issue. First things first, it's $3. So that sounds really cool. And this is published by a guy named Adam Freeman. He used to be a retailer, a comic book retailer, but now he heads up Prana Direct Market Solutions. And they are a group who, among many other things, they work a lot with sales data from retailers, trying to build like a comprehensive picture of the industry. And that's kind of what drew me to them at first. Is I'm a big data guy and I love numbers and that kind of thing. So I like to listen to their podcasts and their live streams and stuff. So they're very involved in the comic book industry and the inner workings of the industry. And now they are producing this magazine, which I'm not saying that this is the new Wizard magazine, but it does sound like it takes a lot of the really fun parts of what Wizard magazine used to have, like interviews and recommendations and comic book and news about comic books and things to come and things like that. This first issue has an interview with Scott Snyder and Nick Dragotta about Absolute Batman. So what a way to start. But yeah, so it kind of seems like maybe magazines about comic books are kind of antiquated now in the ages of the internet, but it's fun to have like a magazine, just like to sit down and just read a magazine with interviews and all kinds of cool stuff. There's going to be more in this as well. It's at the top. It says revealed inside Pull Box Power Rankings, and I think it mentioned maybe like a price guide or maybe that's coming in the future. I don't know, but it just sounds like a kind of like this new generation's version of what Wizard, the heart of what Wizard was back in the day. So yeah. I'm very interested in checking this out. Like I said, it's $3. You can order this on our website just the way you order any other comic, like you had mentioned too. Subscribe to it. Just hit the subscribe button, and that way you can just set it and forget it, and it just shows up. So I'm really looking forward to this because I miss Wizard magazine, and I know there's other magazines about comics, but
especially this is kind of through our flow of how we get other stuff like that. It just feels natural that, you get your comics for the week. Oh, and you got a magazine about them. We already love kind of, having the physical copy of things in hand. And yeah, you can read a website about it, but it is really cool to sit down like when you read your comics and read a magazine about them.
Plus, what I like too is it's always fun to go back. A year or years later, I still have my old Wizards, and it's fun to go back and just see what was going on. So I don't know, just having like an archive of what the industry was like at the time and what was coming out. I think that's neat.
Yeah, and I believe the second issue, I think it's the second or the third, is a Battle Beast issue that has some discussion or interviews in that with the creators of Battle Beast. So already it looks like they are trying to really get some big names in here to really prove themselves. I
Yeah,
think
for
that's
sure.
awesome.
Yeah, I can't wait to check this out. I was gonna say this is our A cover, but no, that's the only cover there is. I don't think there's gonna be variants on this.
No, but you can draw Garfield on this.
That's right.
Well, next up we have Usagi Yojimbo, Kaito 84. And I'm really excited about this. This sounds really, really cool. So I already love Usagi, but this is definitely a interesting twist on it. So this is by Zach Rosenberg and the artist by Jared Cullum, who did this cover. So already, this is what your interior is going to look like. That is really, really cool. And it's set in 1984, Osaka. The bloodline of Miyamoto Usagi lives on through Kaito Usagi, a cunning rabbit thief with a rebellious spirit. He embodies his ancestors' legacy in a way the stoic samurai we know and love never could. A daring new heist for a legendary spear sets Kaito down a perilous path, forever altering his destiny and placing fate of Osaka and perhaps the world on his shoulders. So, yeah, this is a descendant of the Usagi, the classic wandering samurai, but set in the 80s. And it feels like either like kind of like a Streets of Rage or your like 80s Ninja Turtles setting of like some kung fu in the back alley type thing that I can't wait to check out. So already we know this is gonna look amazing. And yeah, brand new character here. So we've got our A cover here by, like I said, by your interior artist. We have a Stan Sakai variant, so you got some classic Usagi art, and a Jim Rugg kind of a Miami Vice cover that's really cool too. Next up, we have continuing stories.
Starting with Wolverine number 17. Number 16 comes out next week. We'll be talking about that on Monday. And in this one, it says that Wolverine and Silver Sable heat up while a chilling new villain, whose name I believe is Coldplay. If I didn't write that part down, but there is a new.
Is he all yellow?
Right. There is a new villain in this one though, who attacks the Morlocks encampment, and I guess Wolverine and Silver Sable are going to have to get wrapped up in that. And it says a difficult decision awaits, plus a return you won't want to miss. So yeah, I've been enjoying this. There's only been one issue since it came back from Age of Revelation, but that issue, Wolverine and Silver Sable together is really cool. A new villain premiering in this one, so yeah, I'm hopeful for this.
Did you say issue 16 comes out
next week?
Next week, so that's really cool.
This is our A cover. There's a Puppeteer Lee variant and a Sanford Green Doom homage variant. Homaging Sanford Green's own cover to Doom, that came out a couple years ago.
Just like the cover, it's all a big circle.
Yeah.
Well, next up, we have Invincible Universe Capes number 4, and I had to talk about this one because we were on a retailer call with the Skybound team going over all things Invincible, the game, Capes, Battle Beast, and so much more. And I just want to put this on here to spotlight. This is an awesome time to be an Invincible fan. They let us in on a little bit about what's coming with issue 7 of this, is when it starts its own storyline that is not a remastering of the original Cape series, but it goes into its own territory. People, you definitely need to be subscribed so you get that issue, because that is going to be a big one. Along with just so much more. We got a chance to read Battle Beast issue number 7, which is phenomenal and has one of the most laugh out loud second pages of any book ever.
People are going to be talking about that second page when it comes out. It's going to be great.
Yeah. Yeah, it's really funny. Even when they showed it on our call, Robert Kirkman had to take a second to laugh.
Yeah, he wrote it and he was laughing at the joke because it's so just kind of out there. It's
great. So if you're not reading it, check out Capes. It is so much fun. If you want more of the Invincible universe, also I think a lot of these characters are going to be like characters that end up in the game, so you can find out a little bit more about them here. So we've got our A cover here by Ryan Otley, and we have a Mark Englert variant, which that is your interior artist, and he's going to continue to be your interior artist even past issue 7.
And next we have Malevolent number 2. Number 1 came out this week, and it was very interesting, kind of reminded me of a story you would maybe see in an anime or a manga. And in this one, it says as the team struggles, and I guess it's like this. In the first issue, there was like this police squad that used some gear that had all these wards and like magical seals on them to protect them from these demons. So I guess it's that team struggles to accept their newest ally, who is the girl Morgan here on the cover, because she's the very thing they were formed to destroy. It says a Mal uncovers a fresh weakness to exploit, and a Mal is basically their word for a demon. It says these demons have like sort of possessed the world. And yeah, so it finds a new weakness to exploit. So if you like the first issue from this week, check out the next one. And this is the only cover.
Well, we also have another one that just started this week. This is Spirit of the Shadows, issue number 2, and I can't even begin to explain the solicitation for this one or the details about this series because it is so crazy. It's so much fun. It mixes kind of ghosts with superheroes, with Jack Kirby mixed with like Mike Allred's Madman. It is all over the place in the best kind of way. So if you check out number 1, make sure you subscribe to the series because it is a 5-issue mini-series. So show your support and pre-order this one. We've got our A cover here by Nick Cagnetti, which is your interior artist. And we have a B cover by Ian Higginbotham. Next up, we got a cover gallery of some really cool covers to show off.
Starting with Daredevil Punisher, The Devil's Trigger number 5. This is the Pete Momoko cover, and this is, I believe it's the final issue of this series, but it's going to roll right on into Daredevil number 1 and Punisher number 1 shortly after this.
We also have Conan the Barbarian 29. This is the Martin Simmons variant, which I just think is crazy and intimidating.
Yep. And this is Detective Comics number 1106. Bjorn Barends, not Greg Smallwood like this says. This is the Bjorn Barends cover, and there is a Steve Skroce variant also.
That one's cool. It looks like Batman just bowled through people and just launched right at them. Next up, we have Escape from Skull Island, issue number 2 of 4. This is the series that's based off of the Netflix Skull Island show, and this is actually our A cover by Diego Yapur.
And this is Green Lantern number 32. This is the Declan Shalvey variant. And there's also a Stephen Byrne variant, which I love, and a Taran Clark Black History Month variant.
I love even in this, like how his lantern is like almost like solid light.
Yeah, that's great.
That's awesome. Well, next up we have some really nice covers for Harley Quinn. This is for Harley Quinn number 59, starting off with this David Nakayama cover. This kind of almost Blink 182 looking cover. We also have a Inyuk Lee variant. That's kind of what her costume currently looks like. Mm-hmm. We also have an Elizabeth Torque variant. I like the chefs in the background with their crazy eyes and stuff. And we have a Chrissy Zulo Valentine's Day cover as well.
And this is Hyde Street number 10. This is the Ivan Rice Youngblood team-up variant featuring Chapel from Youngblood. And that looks great, but what's his name again?
Pranky.
Pranky, yeah. I think Pranky could take him, though.
Yeah, and I would like to see that.
Yeah.
Well, next up we have Bookshelf. Just some really cool collected editions and special stuff. Starting off with some big ones. This is the Free Comic Book Day 2026. So we got Free Comic Book Day coming May 2nd. Is that right?
Yep.
And they are doing these special absolute hardcovers for that, featuring the Jim Lee variants that were for the original issue number 1s. So these are the same books. It says Dust Jacket. I don't know if this is a Dust Jacket just around the original cover or if underneath it it's this as well. Yeah. But this is hardcover of Absolute Batman Volume 1, The Zoo, and it's going to be $24.99. And along with that, you can also get Absolute Superman hardcover, Last Dust of Krypton, Dust Jacket, and the Absolute Wonder Woman Volume 1, The Last Amazon. These are all $24.99 and should be out around Free Comic Book Day.
And then we have the Batman by Chip Zdarsky Omnibus Volume 1. This is going to be $125. It collects Batman number Batman number 125 through 136. And also the 10-issue Batman the Night series that Chip Zdarsky wrote that told the story of Bruce Wayne traveling the world to train with various experts in various fields to become Batman eventually. And that was really good. That's a nice precursor to Batman Year One. Like those things actually fit really well together. And it has stories from Batman Urban Legends number 1 through 6. So I can't wait for this. I really enjoyed Chip Zdarsky's run, and this is all that collected.
Yeah, that miniseries, they reference a lot of stuff from that
Oh
in
yeah,
the series, so I think it's great that they
yeah.
included
Some of the characters that he meets in that series and he trains with,
Yeah.
they end up showing back up in the main story. It's great. It's a really good. It's crazy because it was made so many decades after Batman Year One, but if you read them like in chronological order, like it
Yeah.
fit really well together.
Well, next up we have DC Finest Western, The Hangman Never Loses. And I'm very excited for this because I love DC's classic Western stuff. So this is Tales from the Bronze Age. So this is books that were published between 1970 and 1973. Includes characters like Hawk, Firehair, El Diablo, and more. Doesn't mention Jonah Hex, but I'm guessing he's probably going to get his own one of these at some point, which I would be all for. But this collects stories from All Star Western, issues 1 through 11, plus stuff from Super DC Giant, Tomahawk, Weird Western Tales, and more. So if you want some of that classic DC Bronze Age Western with what I believe is a Neil Adams cover
yeah.
here, definitely pick this up. It is $39.99 for a lot of stuff that probably has not been reprinted.
Right. And then we have the Omega Man by Tom King Deluxe Edition hardcover. This is going to be $49.99 and collects the entire 12-issue Omega Man series, plus a bonus gallery with behind-the-scenes material. So I'm excited for this. I never got around to reading this originally, so I'm looking forward to picking this up.
It's one of Tom King's first DC things, I believe.
Yeah, or at least one of his first
like right
major
after
stories.
like Mr. Miracle and all that.
Yeah, Kyle Rayner focus. Yeah, I'm excited for this.
Well, next up we have Justice League Unlimited Volume 2, and this is the Omega Act. This is going to kind of lead you right up until the DCKO starts. This is it didn't say what issues this contains, which I thought was weird, but this is Volume 2, so this is going to probably take you right up until that roughly start. So if you're reading it trade-wise, don't miss out on this one. This is the trade paperback for $17.99, and I believe there's a hardcover for about $24.99.
And then we have the hardcover for Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees. So this is going to be $29.99, and this collects the entire series and 8 pages of additional content. I'm assuming it's probably sketches or a script or something. We already had the trade paperback for this original series, but now it's getting a hardcover treatment. And also, Beneath the Trees Where Nobody Sees, Rite of Spring is getting a hardcover as well. It hasn't ended yet, though.
It's got one issue left.
It's got one issue left. Yeah, these both come out on July 21st, so you could actually get both volumes on the exact same day if you've never read it. I highly recommend it. This one's also going to be $29.99. Also collects the entire Rite of Spring series, also with 8 pages of additional content. So these two together, I recommend both of them. Get them. They're together. They're a great story, and I hope they do a third one.
Yeah.
Surely they will. Well, maybe not, depending on how it ends.
Depends how it ends. Next, we've got Disney Gargoyles, Volume 1, Classic Years. This is really cool because a lot of this stuff is very hard to come by, that classic Gargoyles series from Marvel. So this is being put out by Dynamite, who's currently publishing the Gargoyles books. And this collects the all 11 of the original Marvel run of Gargoyles. That first issue is very expensive, and then all the rest of them are just really hard to find. So if you want to go back and read some classic 90s to early 2000s Gargoyles, you can check this out. They say this is going to be a 3-volume set. So this is Volume 1. I don't remember where the Gargoyle license went after Marvel. But this is going to collect basically all Gargoyles comics up until Dynamite started releasing their own. So definitely don't miss out on this, because this is going to be really good stuff with this great Joe Mad cover. But you also have like Amanda Connor working on this series and so many more. So you can get this for $39.99.
And then we have the Transformers Deluxe Edition hardcover book 2. So this is going to be $49.99, and it collects Transformers number 13 through 24. And the Energon Universe special from 2024 and 2025 together. So yeah, if you got the first one, this is the next piece of that.
That will collect all of the Daniel Warren Johnson
That's right,
stuff right
yeah.
up to issue 25.
Yep.
So
this is the direct market cover for Jorge Corona, and there's also a standard edition cover as well. If you have trouble ordering this one, the direct market one from our website, just send us an email at info@infinityflux. There was an issue last week with one of the G.I. Joe ones. So if you have trouble with this one, just send us an email and we can put you down for that as well.
yeah, this is the one I'm getting because I love Ultra Magnus.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm very excited about this. This is how I've been getting them. I haven't been getting the little trades. I've been getting these. So
Yeah.
I've been waiting a long time for this second.
Have you been
volume.
buying the single issues?
Yes.
Yeah, I've been getting the single issues too, but then when these come out, I can't.
But these are so nice.
They're so nice, yeah, and they're big, they're tall.
Yeah.
These are great.
And Big Chin Megatron.
Yeah.
Next up, we have some new printings, and we got quite a few of these to talk about. We're going to kick it off with Inglorious X-Force #1, second printing. So they're reprinting a lot of these more recent X titles that just came out 2 or 3 weeks ago. So starting off with Inglorious X-Force, we also have a facsimile of Phoenix the Untold Story, this classic Marvel miniseries. So don't miss out on this. I'm wondering if they're going to do the whole thing. They've been doing stuff like that
Oh yeah.
recently where they're going through the entire miniseries and doing facsimiles. I believe this has the regular cover, the foil, and maybe a sketch cover as well. But we also have second printings of Psylocke Ninja #1. This is the Art Germ cover for that. If you missed out, I know this is one we sold out very, very fast. And there's one for Rogue #1 as well. So if you miss out on any of these new X-Men #1s or a classic Phoenix miniseries, you can grab these.
So they are doing a bunch of new printings for some of the early issues of the Ultimates. So this is the third printing of Ultimates #1, like Ultimates #1 from like last year, I think, or the year before. There's a second printing of #2. There's a second printing of #3. There is a third print of #4. A second print of #5, and a second print of #6. So you could grab all these and have the first third of the entire series.
And next up, DC's doing something really cool. They are re-releasing DC All-In Special #1. It's the third printing, and this is what kicked off everything. This introduced the Absolute Universe. It set up everything that we've been going through in DC with, starting here all the way to DCKO. It all ties back to here. So if you miss out on this when this came out 2 years ago,
Yeah, I believe so. 2024.
yeah,
September, I think.
I think this is a great addition to your collection because they're still referencing stuff that happened in this and moving forward. All this stuff. This is where Booster Gold went missing. So very, very important if you don't have it. And yeah, this is awesome that even all this time later, we're getting another printing of it. As well as some printings of the DCKO All Fight Month issues, starting off with Aquaman 12 with Aquaman versus Hawkman. We've got Flash 28, which is your Jay Garrick versus Guy Gardner fight, which was a fantastic issue. We've got Superman #33, which is your Lex Luthor versus Etrigan the Demon, and Titans #30, which is Cyborg versus Swamp Thing. So if these sold out or you missed them, you can catch back up with these, including some more
DCKO reprints. So this is the third print of #1, and this is the final page of one of the issues. I think it was maybe DCKO #3, maybe. That's the third printing. We also have the second print of the DCKO Harley Quinn versus Zatanna one-shot, and this is the A cover of that second print by Jorge Corona, but there's also a B cover from Godtail. So this is that second print as well. There is a second printing of DCKO Night Fight #2. #4 comes out next week. We'll talk about that on Monday. That's the end of this miniseries. And there is a second printing of the DCKO Red Hood versus Joker as well. And this was hugely popular.
Yeah. We also have Action Comics issue number 419 getting a facsimile edition. And this is really cool because this is the first appearance of Human Target, which has gone on to, had its own TV show and stuff. But if you want to see the original Human Target premiere issue with this great Neil Adams cover, you can grab this. This has the regular version, the foil version, and the blank sketch version of it as well. And that is it for Comics from the Future, our second attempt at this.
Part 2, yeah.
Part 2. But there's some phenomenal stuff on this. Like we said, so much of this stuff is going to sell out. So it's really important that you head on over to infinityflux.net right now and start placing your pre-orders, especially for the Absolute stuff, for the number ones that are coming out, all that kind of stuff. Super important, especially variants. Those sell out really fast. So get your pre-orders in for these books. You will not regret it. Stay tuned for our show coming up on Monday, where we've got a lot of big books to talk about. DCKO Boss Fight is coming out. We have Ultimate Endgame number 2. We have DCKO Night Fight number 4.
Yeah, the end of that tie-in series. This is the B cover, I think, or maybe the C cover, but yeah, that's going to be really cool.
And so much more to talk about. So Monday's going to be a very big show. Make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of our comic coverage. And until next time, see ya.